Well, good Thursday afternoon, Alaska. We are expected to see an update on this Alaska wildfires that we have ongoing across the state, giving you the latest on the weekend outlook, which continues to look warm for much of the state. But before we give you an update on those conditions, let's give you a live look at what's going on outside, where we're seeing some pleasant weather across South Central. We've got mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies to kick off your morning. Now, throughout the day, we will see a bit more cloud coverage across South Central. We may even see some haze across parts of the region as well from some of that wildfire smoke, but shouldn't see any significant issues across South Central. Different story, though, as you head into the interior as well as western and southwest Alaska, where we do have that wildfire activity. So here is the latest that we continue to see across the state. You can see currently sitting at 134 active wildfires. Now, those little blobs of orange, the flames that you're seeing, those are the staffed wildfires that we have across the states. We've got a slew of them through the large portion of the interior. This is where we're dealing with very unhealthy air quality as well as some dense smoke advisory. And then as you head out towards areas just south of McGrath and then through southwest Alaska, we continue to see a number of wildfires as well, with at least 4 to 5 that are staffed for southwest Alaska. And we are going to continue to monitor this situation. You can see nearly 200,000 acres have been burned so far this season. Two of the largest, of course, have been the McDonald wildfire, which has seen over 50,000 acres. And then, of course, that growing Globe fire, which led to those evacuation orders yesterday evening. Now, with these growing wildfire threats, we're also seeing that air quality concern. Notice here in South Central, not seeing any significant issues. But as you head through the interior from North Pole out towards Fairbanks, this is where we have unhealthy air quality. Yesterday, it was seeing at very unhealthy levels, so it's going to fluctuate back and forth. We're going to see some days where it's a lot easier to breathe outside, and then other days where the smoke is just overwhelming. And that likely will occur tonight into tomorrow as that smoke filters back east a bit more towards Harding, Birch Lakes, as well as parts of the Richardson Highway. As we welcome in your Thursday evening on into Friday. And this is a smoke forecast. Notice that bright white color that you're seeing, that's very high smoke. So we're talking about very dense conditions looking possible with some visibility down to less than a mile at times, if not even lower levels of visibility, where we continue to see that smoke filter into the region. So from Tanana Flats through Fairbanks out towards Southshaw, Eielson Air Force Base, even seeing areas as far south as about Delta Junction, seeing that potential for at least some smoke in the atmosphere. But that's going to continue to linger tonight into tomorrow. Notice how it shifts a bit more to the east and hovering right over the interior through Fairbanks, where we're going to see some of that greatest threat for that unhealthy air quality. And that will continue here over the next couple of days. We do have some red flag warnings that are in effect for a large portion of the interior as well. That's from the Canadian-Alaska border west near McGrath and north of the Alaska Range, including parts of the Brooks Range as well, where we're seeing that red flag conditions. And that continues through tonight as well. And we're actually going to continue to watch for not only some thunderstorm development, but growing drought problems through parts of the interior as well, where we're seeing a moderate drought beginning to pop up just northeast of Fairbanks. We'll get to that here in a minute. But in addition to that red flag warning, strong storms do look likely out towards northwestern parts of the state. Earlier this morning, we did see a thunderstorm out towards Noatag. That continued to build off towards the northwest, which sparked some additional thunderstorm warnings as well. Did see radar indicated quarter-size hail being the main threat with that storm earlier today. And there is that potential that we'll see some additional activity as far north as Ukiavik into the evening hours. So be prepared for that thunderstorm activity. Here is that latest on the Drought Monitor. You can see southeast continue to see abnormally dry conditions, and that has been the case for the past several months now, and that's dating back to the winter from that lack of snow that we did see through parts of southeast and then into the interior and then out towards Circle. You can see abnormally dry to a moderate drought that is beginning to form. Any wildfires that spark in that area have the potential to grow very rapidly, because not only is it in a dry area, but it's also within that category or within that area that's up under that red flag warning. And that again continues values until 10 p.m. tonight. We do have the latest on that fire danger, high to very high fire danger from South Central, Valdez, Cordova, the Copper River Basin, as well as into the interior remains up under high to very high fire danger. Now, new this afternoon, we have seen burn permit suspensions for Valdez, Copper River area that went into effect at 10 a.m. this morning, as well as Tok and Delta. In addition to that, Matsu, as well as the Fairbanks, seeing those burn permit suspensions as well. And that will continue to be the case for the foreseeable future with those suspensions. Likely will not see that lifted until we see any significant change in our weather pattern, which doesn't look likely for the foreseeable future. Rain certainly not in the forecast for much of the state. Temperature-wise this afternoon or this morning, already warming into the mid-70s for Fairbanks. Notice out towards Dead Horse, warmer than Anchorage this morning, 61 degrees in Dead Horse, while Anchorage is sitting at 56 degrees. We're really looking at that plume of heat that's building in from the interior north through the slope out towards Utqiagvik, where we're already seeing that temperature sitting in the mid-50s. This is the area we want to be watching for thunderstorm development into the afternoon and evening hours, which could spark some additional wildfire potential, and any of those storms do have the chance to being on the strong side. So we'll watch that as we welcome in the afternoon hours here across South Central. Temperatures have been pretty manageable. I mean, pleasant to get outdoors. We're right around seasonal to slightly above seasonal values for Anchorage into the valley and the Copper River Basin. Temperatures have been warming into the 70s and 80s. That will continue to be the case while the coast sees those temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. And while South Central will stay on the dry side today, there will be some rain increasing for Kodiak, and then thunderstorm activity does look likely for the Copper River Basin. Now, as far as the rest of the state, not much in the way of rain to be expected. We will see some of that thunderstorm activity through the interior as well as out towards the slope. But notice as you head out towards the Aleutians, the Pribilofs, out towards Gamble, St. Lawrence, this is where we're going to continue to hold on to a cooler and wetter weather pattern compared to the rest of the state. And that's all thanks to this area of low pressure that continues to churn through the Bering. That will keep rain showers around as well as those breezy conditions. So for the next couple of days, if you live anywhere from really from the Seward Peninsula, southern parts of the Seward Peninsula, and then as far south as the Aleutians, we're going to be talking about those winds anywhere from about 15 to 40 miles per hour as that low continues to build through the region. So that will be responsible for keeping things cloudy and cool compared to the rest of the state. We're talking about the Aleutians staying in the 40s, if not the lower 50s, as we welcome in the coming days. The rest of the state will continue to see this hot and dry weather pattern. Temperatures in the interior, once again, topping out in the 80s as we head through the afternoon hours. There is that outside potential that some locations could top out near 90. Not as warm as what we saw yesterday, but still on the hot side. And then as far north as the slope, you can see temperatures making a run near 70 degrees. Yesterday, Dead Horse climbed into the 60s. Today, there is that potential that we could see Dead Horse warming into the 70s, and then Utqiagvik making a run at 60 degrees. So a large portion of the state continues to remain on the warm and dry side. We certainly do need some rain as we're already beginning to see that moderate drought building in through portions of the interior. Here in South Central, things are fine for now, but we are up under that high fire danger, and keep in mind we do have that burn permit suspension for the Matsu Valley and the Valdez Copper River area for the foreseeable future. Now that 7-day forecast, pretty much more of the same as we welcome in the weekend and next week. Daily highs touching near 70 degrees. Much like we've seen for the past 2 weekends, don't be surprised if Saturday and Sunday bring us temperatures anywhere from about 68 to 75 degrees. We've managed to overachieve a couple of days here and there is that potential this weekend as well. The one thing that will prevent us from reaching those 70s is that cloud coverage, as we will see a bit more cloud coverage this weekend and into next week, and that could bring a bit more rain showers to South Central, thinking more towards the Kenai, Prince William Sound, and Kodiak. The rest of South Central should stay on the drier side next week, but we are watching that potential for some increasing rain as we welcome in next week. For now, though, daily highs will continue to flirt with 70 degrees with overnight lows in the 50, while the hot and dry conditions continue into the interior. Of course, we'll have more on the latest when it comes to that smoke forecast for the interior, as well as that wildfire update coming up in the noon as well as in the evening newscast. For now, make sure you have a great Thursday, and of course anytime you see any brand new wildfires pop up, please report those and make sure that you stay safe as we continue to see these hot and dry conditions.